Right, here we are, Suffolk, England, railway garden. There's the railway. Network Rail came and put some kind of mesh fencing up for us, which is nice. They didn't do a very good job, but you know, it was nice of them. This is pretty much the only thing that's been really, really successful this year, which is the run of beans. We're now in late October, and we've still got harvesting. We harvested a couple of pounds yesterday, so there's not many here to see right now. There's some. Yeah, these are going to be coming on. Yeah, there we go. So these are the runners, which have done really well. I might try a different variety next year. These ones were nice enough, and they did well. Here we go. There, nice runners. We're now late October, and I know for a fact that other people in the village have taken all of their runners out. Anyway, they didn't get terrible rust, and they did well. This patch here, covered in cardboard, is the Disastrous potato blight patch. And I had some manure that I needed to get rid of, so decided that I spread the manure out and put cardboard over the top, and then the worms will come up, go, lovely manure, thank you very much, draw it down into the ground and do a whole load of work for me. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Occurred to me weeks later that this soil is absolutely full of potato blight and potato blight microbes and, you know, spores and stuff. So basically what I've done is I've fed them and tucked them up for the winter. So I might just be propagating potato blight really, really well here. So, just thought, oh well, done job, forget about it. Down the road, the farmer was growing field beans. Now these are a lot like broad beans, they're smaller, the plants are very, very similar. The beans themselves are smaller, and we were always told that you can't eat them because they'll upset your stomach, they'll give you bad guts. But I did some research into them, and oh yeah, and that they're only produced for animal feed. And the way they grow them and harvest them is that they leave them in the field until the plants have died and the pods are bursting, not the bods are bursting, the pods are bursting, and then they take the whole lot. They take all of the plant and with them all of the beans. Except they don't take all of the beans with them. Loads of the beans get left behind, just laying on the ground. Anyway, I did some research into them, and they do not give you bad guts. They are, although we're told they're solely for animal food, and some of them do go for animal food, apparently a large part of the crop goes to North Africa, specifically Algeria and Morocco, and is turned into humus and stuff like that for human consumption. And actually, if you just grow them like normal broad beans, pick them early because they go bitter quite soon, so pick them small and tender, they're delicious. And apparently, like other species of broad beans, they overwinter really well. So, anyway, I decided to go gleaning and get myself a whole load of beans, which are in here, in this packet, which says field beans on it, which is convenient. And there you go, say hello to a chicken for a minute, if you don't mind, and I'll show you a handful of field beans. Right, well it's not a handful, it's three, but 3 or 4. Now as you can see, we getting those? Yeah, there you go. It's quite a big hand, but you can see that they are not large beans. However, apparently, picked young and tender, they're good. The other thing with broad beans is that they're a type of green manure. They're very good at fixing nitrogen, which I think I've got too much of in my garden. See previous videos. But, you know, and they've got quite a vigorous root system, and I'm on heavy Suffolk clay, so anybody who is going to break up my soil for me is welcome. Right, so we've got an old crowbar, which is here. Oh, there's Barry the chicken, that's the white one. Hello, Barry. Hello, Barry. And this is the crowbar. And I just came along and stabbed holes in the aforementioned cardboard, reasonable spacing, which makes a change for me, and dropped a bean in each one. These are the beans I picked up from the field, so these cost me nothing. And I'm thinking, well, they're either going to grow or they're not, and they're probably not. Now, my lovely partner said maybe popping a little toilet roll in each hole would have been a good idea. And she's absolutely right, it would have been a brilliant idea, because it was surprising how quickly the cardboard kind of self-healed itself. It went from having a big 3-inch hole to just kind of folding it. Here's a good example. There we go. And the cardboard's kind of self-healed. So I had to come along and open up the holes a bit. And then up start coming the beans. Now I just dropped those in there. I didn't backfill them. There was no like, oh, which way up is up. That's a really bad picture one. There we go. And there again. And there again. Maybe if we just zoom in on that. He's kind of like the champion at the moment. Champion bean. There he is. Bit of willow leaf behind him, which makes him look bigger than he is, but even so. Kind of run him up bean. Anyway. And loads have managed it. So they just go for the light, I guess. They find their way. I mean, they could have germinated and bashed their heads against cardboard, because they could have missed the hole by a couple of inches. Let's see if we can get this fella. There we go. There. And these, I probably popped them in about 3 weeks ago. So that is the Bonkers Field Bean project. And the question is it going to work? We just need to see if they survive the winter. Apparently they're like the Sutton, which is a broad bean, and I've yet to put some of those in, but I'm going to do it in the next couple of days, which are also an autumn sow broad bean. These are field beans, as mentioned. So that's the experiment. I fear I have probably just incubated a whole load of blight. The beans will probably survive because blight isn't rust. It's similar, but it's not the same. It's not the same organism. And we might get some beans. And I don't know what I'll do with the land next year. If after I've harvested these, have to be something that's not upset by blight, I guess. Yeah, so there you go. Hope you enjoyed that one. Just very quickly, we've got some curly kale, autumn sown, bought as plants from a brilliant seed merchant plant place in Newmarket called DT Brown, I think. They're beautifully old-fashioned. They're really lovely. These are spinach and mango, but as is usually my way, I plant them too close together, and you can't tell the difference between the two of them. I think I mentioned those in a previous video. You can pay more money for perpetual spinach seeds, less money for mango seeds, and to be honest, the mango have been more reliable, taste just as good. I'd go for mango every time from now on. We've got a train coming if you're interested. There he goes. And these are stock, just normal stock, not night scented. Don't even talk to me about these beans on this little trolley, because this little trellis, because they're rubbish. You've said hello to the chickens, which is nice. More greens here. Cauliflowers, which I think look a bit leggy. I think broccoli and some cabbage, some sweetheart cabbage. And then it's turned into a bit of a tour of the garden now. Garden tractor over there that hasn't even been used this year. And just very quickly, This, let's see, let's go a bit wider on that. This is our American, I believe, smoker kind of fire pit thing. It's pretty unreliable. We managed to burn more things than not, but let's see what's for supper. Ah, there you go. I use charcoal and wood. Under the tin foil there is a whole chicken, believe me, smelling pretty good. And then on the top there, some roast potatoes coming on. So that's supper. And there we go. And that's half a pint, which I'm going to drink. So lovely, hope you enjoyed that one.